Okay. Just going to go through some mail here. Let me go over and post out here that I'm on live. It won't be on long. Probably not, anyways. Okay, that's out there on the YouTube, the Facebook YouTube channel. See if anybody else pops in here. I'm not sure who else is live right now. I don't think I'm going on top of anybody here. So I've got a few things that I picked up over the last couple of weeks. The main thing I just got today was this big old package from Cheapskate. It's got a couple weeks, like almost a month's worth of auction ones. Hey Cheapskate, how you doing? Hey, I got your package today. So I'm gonna go open that up here in a moment. I kind of forget what I got, to be honest with you. So this will be like a nice little surprise for me. I'm going to go ahead and get this open while hope you're doing alright out there in Arizona. It's finally cooled down. We had a hot weekend, hot Memorial Day. Felt like we were in Arizona there over Memorial Day, but we're back down to normal here in Ohio. I think we got a high of maybe mid-70s a day. Oh, I'm sure I will, Cheapskate. There was I know a lot of stuff that don't remember exactly what it was, but I knew I had picked up quite a few nice things here. So I'm gonna start pulling stuff out. I know what these are. I must say you do package stuff well. I do appreciate that. Always have a nice sharp knife handy. These are those these are these what you call it, capsules. The universal with the inserts. So I got two packs of 10, I believe they were. So those will come in handy. I wanted to try them out, and if I do like them, I might be back for more. Oh, nice. So we'll see some new scenery around you, huh? In your auctions here. Oh, what else we got? Okay, we got invoice, which I will take a quick look at. This was, I think, just one of, yeah, this is for one of them. It is funny. When a week or two ago, I'd asked you if you had fish tanks in there, and for some reason, I can really hear those coming off, because we typically watch the auction off my TV in my bedroom. My wife and I sit there and we watch it off the TV, and for some reason it comes through the fish tank. You can hear it plain as day. I kept, first couple times I heard it, I was like, kept looking outside, seeing what is that making that noise? Sound like water running or something? I was like, what in the world is that? And then I finally realized it was coming from the TV. Yeah, I can't remember if this is just 2 weeks worth of stuff, or if I had you hold this for 4 weeks. I don't remember. It looks like maybe just 2 weeks, because we had the 2 auctions, and then you had that consignment sale in between there. So I got 3 invoices. Of course, got your business card, and yeah, that's what's weird. But I can hear them plain as day. It's funny. Got your sticker. Thank you. You got a few of those now. Let's see. Got a couple coins here. I think this was from the consignment. Yeah, I believe this is from the consignment sale. I think. Or maybe this is. Ah, they might be mixed together. Let's see, we got some rolls of something. I think I had some Mexican stuff that you had. And here's the, oh, much more rolls here. I think there's something else doing there. I guess not. I thought there was something else in there. Okay, so these are, what a bunch. I didn't realize I got that many rolls off you. Alright, cool. So let's start digging into this. Okay, I wasn't sure. I only got 3 invoices, so it looks like there's 3 sales here. Alright, let's see what we got here. We'll open up the tubes first. Well, I'm not going to go through the tubes, but we'll at least see what we got here. I'll link to your channel here too. After I'm done, I'll update the description, link to your channel. Well, phooey. Alright, let's see what we got here. We got $19.83, 20 centavos for Mexico. Let me throw one of these under the scope here. These are uncirculated, I believe, if I recall right. Switch, there we go. Yeah, I don't know if you saw, I believe Ida Herring is put out a video that is like a current, just a list of current things, and she's updating it every day or every couple days or whatever. You might want to contact her if if you follow her. I don't know if she puts out a ton of videos or so, before this, but I think what she's trying to do is replace PV's list of live events. So maybe you might want to contact her and get yourself on the list there. But yeah, I'll definitely hook up. Yeah, usually this time of year, I don't have much time in the evenings, but because of all this quarantine and all that kind of stuff, I'm usually at baseball games. I got boys that play baseball, and my coach as well. And well, that's been kind of put a stop to for this year. What was that? That was 1983 20 Centavos. Oh, I forgot. They actually had Mexico, I think 83. Hey Lincoln, how you doing? Just going through some new purchases I got. Right now I'm going through a package from Cheapskate. This was a uncirculated roll of 83 20 Centavos. I don't know if there's any varieties for these years. That's something I always look for. I kind of have gotten pretty good at spotting some, finding some foreign double dyes and whatnot. So I'll have to see what's on these. 83, if I remember correctly, they actually had two different styles of 20 Centavos. That was a switchover year. And they had the copper nickel one that you just saw, and then the first one here was the brass. The brass 83, and that's a 20 as well. So they had both styles that year. I think that was a switchover year. The copper nickel was the one they went with. That was the new one. Yeah, I know there's I don't remember what year, but I've seen pictures of that style 20, the copper nickel style 20 Centavos, with some pretty dramatic double dyes on it. I don't know if it's 83. I don't recall that, but I have seen some pictures of that. And I must have got two rolls of these. Yeah, so I got another roll of 83 20 Centavos, and that's the first brass looking one. Let me pull up my favorite go-to place for foreign coins, and it is Numista. Let me pop over there. Oops, not there. Let's go here. Let's browse Mexico. This is my go-to place for anything foreign. I was wrong. So the brass one was the newer one from 83 to 84, and then the copper nickel, well, that's bronze. The copper nickel one was from 74 to 83. So I was wrong there, but that's happened once before, me being wrong. So we're good. Yeah, I know I've seen some pretty dramatic double dyes on the date here for that. Don't remember what year. Let me see if they list any here. Well, you can see there's a lot of, while they don't get pictures, there's a lot of different, oh, there's two different varieties. Okay, that's interesting. There's two different varieties of the 83, one with a flat top and one with a round top. I believe we can see that here. So you can kind of see how the round top, yep, is a little more rounded all the way around it. This one does flatten out there at the top a little bit. So that's pretty cool. Okay. I got another big pile of rolls. Don't know what those are. So those will give me plenty of time. I'm actually still going through some of those wheat cents that I had bought from you at Cheapskate. in the previous box that I had gotten off you. Oops, there we go. I went through looking for some varieties. I haven't found any double dyes or anything like that. That was for the wheat cents. I had like 47 S's, 51 S's. What else I got? 50 S's, and there's another one here. Where'd it go? 53 S's. Found some die breaks on them. Nothing too special, but yet I still got a couple rolls of those to go through. Okay, let's open up this patch. These will give me lots to do going under these. Putting all these under the scope. I did kind of go roll crazy this time. I've always been kind of fond of Mexican coinage. That was one of my first kind of jumps into the foreign coin world. I've gotten stuff over time. I've collected for close to 40 years now, but the foreign ones have always been a little, other than Canadian, which I find in circulation here in Ohio often enough, especially when I was a kid. My dad owned a service station, and so we got lots of change in the I had lots of change to go through, put the least. But no, when I started getting on eBay and stuff about 10, 15, oh gosh, probably pushing 20 years now, maybe. Anyways, I started getting into the foreign coins, and Mexicans were the first ones that I kind of jumped on. Not sure why, but let's see. Alright, got all those out. Thank you for all that bubble wrap. I do like all the bubble wrap. Not only is it well packaged, but I save it and ship out stuff when I sell stuff myself. I sell on eBay, not as much anymore. I do sell on USA Coin Book. So I'm kind of been on there for about a year selling, but kind of ramping up my inventory. Now I've got a lot of barber dimes on there, a lot of US coins go the best. You can put foreign coins on there, but they just don't sell that well. But that's where I'm putting most of my, because their fees are like next to nothing. So here we got a 1988. I can't see that in that small window, but 1988, I believe 5 pesos. This is when they remonetized everything, and this probably used to be like a little 5 centavo, but now it's a 5 peso. These are what year did I say? 88. That's the year I graduated high school. Graduated high school in 1988. So these were minted from 1985 to 88. Made out of brass. 5 pesos. About the size of a dime, I would say. Pretty simple design. Obviously, if you're familiar with Mexican coinage, there's just about everyone has the emblem of, it's kind of like our eagle, but they have the eagle with the snake sitting on a cactus. It's the symbol of Mexico. Look up the story. That's kind of interesting. It goes back to the Aztec days and the founding of the Aztec Empire, and what now sits Mexico City. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, Cheapskate. I love foreign coins. I think early on I got them because they were, especially when I got onto eBay, they were just cheaper. When I was poor, I couldn't afford a lot of coins, and I could get bulk of them in foreign for no price. Um, I've been recently really excited about finding varieties. I'm trying to find this. I want to show you this Cheapskate. This is pretty cool. If I can find it. Check this one out. This is a Argentina. 2 Centavos. I think there's Centavos down there. Yes, 2 Centavos from 1891. These 2 Centavos in this date range, this is about the size of a $50. Nice big copper, bronze, something like that. These things, and they were minted from, I want to say 85 to 95-ish, somewhere in that time frame. These things are just riddled with errors, varieties. It's actually kind of ridiculous. This one, I've only ever found one copy of this on eBay. Actually, because the varieties are pretty easy to find out there if you go on eBay or whatever. But check this out. Look at the eye. Check that repunched eye out. Isn't that freaking awesome? I think I picked that up for, I don't know, probably $3-4. I saw that and I was like, I'm gonna get me that. That's just too cool. So I love finding that kind of stuff, cherry picking that kind of stuff off of eBay. I have no idea what kind of premium, if anything, that adds to it. You know, obviously here in the U.S., foreign coins, like you say, are not as popular, and varieties for sure are not. Just aren't a thing for the most part, but get the right person. So here is a roll of 85 5 pesos. So the same design as the last one I showed you, just a different year, 85. So I'll be going through those. Here is 83. Yeah, because you can find, I've got other ones here. Actually, I think in my last live video, if you go back and look, I went through a lot of these too. And I do believe the letters and numbers, everything are punched individually, because you'll find different letters repunched. And some are more common than the other ones. Some you see on almost every coin. But, excuse me, I have one that, so in Argentina, where they have the country name there, you know, it starts with an A and ends with an A. Both A's are repunched, and so that's pretty crazy. Again, you get those cheap, man. It's just. So this is 83. What did I say? 50 centavos. Copper nickel. With our familiar design there in the back. So got a roll of those to go through. Another, did I get some of these already? Another 23, 20 or 83 20 centavos. This is the copper nickel variety. So this is the one I'll have to check for the flat tops yet. Looks like I'll have to look at this. I'll have to look at that again. I can't remember. That kind of looks like a flat top. I don't remember. Let me look. 83. Yeah, that looks like a flat top. The other cool thing about Numista, they just started doing this, and it's somewhat inaccurate, but it gives you a base anyways. Kind of want to show this off. This is cool. So they added this frequency column a few months ago, and really what all this is it takes a percentage of how many times something like this is added into the inventory on Numista. So it's not a true calculation of the true rarity, but it kind of gives you a rough idea of how many are in people's collections. And the one thing, this could be a little misleading. It looks like the flat top might be a little more uncommon than the round top, but it could be. I think some people that don't care about the varieties, don't look for the varieties, are going to see 83 with the mintage, and they're going to boom, and they just don't look. So I suspect that or some of that there, but for the most part, I've seen this to be a good rough estimate on what the rough estimate of what the rarity of a coin or a particular date or variety is. The values on there are usually pretty worthless. I think it might be good for some comparisons of give a rough idea, what something might cost, but like any other price guide, it's not too reliable. I think the prices are based off, because when you add in an item, you can put in, they call it the buying value, but I believe those prices are based off of what grade you give it and the buying value. So if I bought this for $1, let's say, and it's an uncirculated, at some point, it doesn't automatically update down here, but at some point it might go through after it's gotten so many with values and averages, average it out, and it might throw some kind of average up there of what it is. So yeah, those tribal dudes are cool. I really like some of the older Mexican. Especially some of the old coppers. I like those, but I really like these 20 centavos from the 60s and 40s and stuff like that. Oops, I'm on the wrong screen. Let's switch back to the scope. There we go. So here's a nice BU example of the one with the Aztec pyramid on there. I just love this design. I think that's really cool. I kind of like this eagle was a less artistic eagle and more of a realistic eagle. So that's cool. Yeah, it's hard to find good books on foreign coins. I actually bought. Yeah, I agree. I've gotten the Kraus, the big Kraus books. I'm gonna, something like this. I've got these that I look through. I haven't really pulled one of these out in a long time because Numista is good, but it's got some good information. But it's hard to find good resources on a particular country or whatever. I mean, you can find Canadian. And, I think Mexico has some decent resources. But those Argentina coins that I had, I was trying to look up some good information on those because there just isn't any out there. And I ended up finding this book on eBay for a relatively cheap price. I think it was like $10. But it's written in Spanish. I don't really speak Spanish. It was 30 years ago I took Spanish in high school. But I remember enough that I'm able to look up, and it's got some better photos and stuff like that. It's got values in there, but again, it's more of a relative thing. But that's the kind of stuff you have to look for. And sometimes I got lucky and found this relatively cheap. Sometimes these things are pretty hard to come by. I've been looking for some good resources on Australian coins, and the books here in the U.S. are hard to come by. I can order them from Australia. There's some good resources in Australia. But the shipping is ridiculous. I ended up spending probably $50-$60 on a book that I should would sell natively here for 30. So they're just not here. So, but yeah, I like this design. I like these big old coppers. I think those are cool. I like the I've always kind of liked these designs too. These are like, this is the 5 centavo. From, I believe this one's a 34, 35. Yeah. I really, if I had a little more time and inclination, I would really beef up my channel. Because I do think there's also I think there's a few people that do videos on foreign stuff, but not many, and it's tough information to come by, and I've really thought of trying to build up my channel a little bit more and do that with foreign coins. I've even started thinking of doing an auction or a sale. To kind of, but mostly focus on foreign stuff for a decent price. I mean, you're one of the few auctions that on YouTube, anyways, that has foreign items on there, and it's just, and to be honest with you, some prices on some of the auctions are just ridiculous. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't even jump in there when the prices are ridiculous on some of those other auctions. I'm glad they're getting the prices. I would hope I would get those kind of prices if I was having an auction. But I do appreciate how you do it. It gives some more people a chance to get in it. Yeah, I enjoyed that series when you did that before, but it's just tough. It's just tough finding time to do it. I work from home now, and I'm on the computer all day. So the last thing I want to do in the evening is sit at the computer sometimes. These 2 last rolls I got from you, these were 2 weedy rolls. I think I already had one roll of 51 S's. I must have picked up another roll. You can focus that in a little bit. So there's a roll of 51 S's. And then put that back, oops, over here. And then here's another roll of 52s. So I'll be checking that out for some varieties. Yeah, I like how you do it, and I know one other one that comes to mind. I mean, there's some good people. I actually enjoy watching some of the other people's auctions. I just don't typically jump in and buy stuff. I think Joe Durbin does a good job. Some of his stuff gets crazy high, but he has nice stuff, and him and Diane are just good people. I enjoy listening to them, and they've always been kind to me, and just good to hang out sometimes in the evenings with them. I think Robert Lawson does a good job. His stuff gets up there sometimes, but I've seen him stop the auction before and say, okay, wait a minute, that's getting way above what it's worth. I'll sell it to you for, and actually Joe Durbin's done that as well. I've seen him do that a few times. So I always appreciate that. So I'm not really a fan of watching the roll hunting videos, especially the ones that you buy into searching for 50 couple rolls and stuff like that. So I do think if I start an auction up, like I said, I'll probably mostly foreign. I'd have American stuff in there, but it might be primarily a foreign one, and I will definitely get some pachyderms in there, because I know that will get hidden in there. I actually told him the other day I'm going to do a whole auction just on pachyderms, just for him, and watch him not come and buy anything. So I'm down into the coins now, and I'm going to try to open these up without ruining the baggies. I like using the baggies and stuff that I get. trying not to make a hole in it. There we go. So let's see what we got. I know I got some good stuff. I don't remember what half of it is. Some of it's going into my collection. Some of it I might end up reselling. I'm not sure. So here is 2001. Yeah, I've seen him do it. I always ask for him, but he probably does have every one made. This is Liberia, $10, I believe it was. And you're right. You said this the other day, and I've said this before. The coins come out looking so much better in hand than the camera. When I see them on your auction, just does not do justice usually. Looks like George has got a little mole on his cheek. That should add. That's the George Bush mole variety. $10. I think I got this one mostly. I don't remember what. I'll look through the invoice, see what I paid for stuff. But I got this one mostly for. I actually don't have anything from Liberia, to be honest with you. And it looked like a nice example, and you had a good price on it. So I thought, well, what the heck. And somebody else was bidding against me or not bidding against me, but was racing against me, and I thought I'm gonna jump in and get that one before. Might have been Bill Betts or somebody was jumping in and getting those. So let's see. Here's another one. This is modern commemorative. This is a George from 1982, Mr. Washington. Proof. It's an 82S. I think you had it labeled as an 82. Actually, yeah, you had it labeled as an 82P, but you did say proof on it. Well, I don't know if you labeled it or somebody else labeled it, but so yeah, it was labeled 82 proof. But when you said proof, and then I saw, actually, I think I think I got this in pre-sales. But either way, I was happy with for the price you had on it, whether it was a proof or not. Didn't care, but. Again, I got this because I remember as a kid, 1982, I was 12 years old. You know, being the first commemorative came back, I had read for a couple years that how the commemorative program was stopped. Yeah, Liberia has an interesting history, and I just had never gotten any coins from there, and I know they put out a lot of commemorative style things. That was your fault then. Okay. Well, it's all good. It's all good. It's exactly what I was hoping it was. So that's cool. But I remember in '82 when the commemorative program was coming back, saying, "Hey, I want one of those." I was 12 years old. I didn't have much money, and I think they were selling these from the mint at the time. I think maybe $15 or something like that. And of course, that was a lot of money for me as a kid in 1982, and I just couldn't pull the trigger on that. But I always wanted one of these, so I thought I'd indulge myself for the price that was given on it. So that's cool. And let's see what else we got here. I'm jumping around a little bit, kind of saving the cool stuff for last, maybe. Let's see. Since we were just talking about Mexico, I got some Mexican stuff here. So let's look at that. I think the rest of it's American. This is 1955 5 pesos from Mexico. About the size of a silver dollar. $7.20. It's got the realistic design on there, more realistic design. Where's the date at on this one? I must have missed it. Oh. Oh, there it is. Oh wait, that's not it. That's not great. There it is, 1955. So this is about, like I said, about the size of a silver dollar or so. Oops. This is something else cool about Numista that I like. You can go down here. So like, so there's two varieties of this one too, and I'm not sure which one this is. Let's take a look. It depends on the trying to remember what it was. I believe sometimes the pictures aren't that great. I wish they would. Doggo. Well, I'll have to look at it. I'm not sure what the difference is between the varieties, but you can see that I'm kind of hoping I have this variety, because then I got a steal from you. But you might have looked this up already. Maybe you already know. Either way, I think it was a good price, good deal on that. I don't remember what I paid for it. I usually look for good deals. I don't like to overpay for stuff, and I usually don't on your channel. But these are, I like these 50 centavos from Mexico as well. Let me switch back to I like these 50 centavos. I always did like this design for some reason. I don't know why. It's simple. This is a 39. This is about the size. It's in between $1.25 and $1.50. In between that. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you checked varieties or not. I didn't think you usually did, but either way, I think I got a good deal on it, so maybe I'll get a bonus. I like these 50 centavos. Here's another one. These are 80% silver, I believe. Here's another one that is a 1907, and actually, if you look there, I did not notice this. It could be, I don't know. It looks like we got some looks like you might have some repunching there on the 7. The 1 maybe. Maybe the inside of the 9. It's hard to tell. I don't see anything elsewhere to say that that's machine doubling. I don't see it on any of the letters. I think these older ones, so I think this one here, the 1907, let's take a look, because I think they changed the percentage on those. So in what was the first one? The first one was a 39. Let's go. Oops, you're not seeing what I'm saying here. Let's go here. 39. So the 39 is 720. Then if I go to 1907, this is a little larger size. This is 80% there. Let's take a look. Is 1907, does it have... there is two different varieties. There's a straight 7 and a curve 7, although they look about the same. Doesn't talk about any doubling on there. I'm going to have to do some more research on that. Yeah, I'm thinking that might be a repunch date there. Yeah, you can see it. Oh, I'm not seeing my mouse. Right at the bottom. That's too big of a pointer. Right there at the bottom curl of the 9 there. I'll have to look a little closer at that. Let me take a quick look here. Yeah, I think especially the 7 looks repunched on that. So I'll have to do some more research on that. So there's another nice good buy there. So anybody else that's watching this, definitely come out to Cheapskate. You get some good looking coins, and there's always a chance you'll get something special like that if you know what you're looking for. You gotta be quick though, because yeah, you know what? I read about the 7. I forgot to even look at it. Let's see. Let me look at it real quick. Let me see the difference here. Oh yeah, there's a stark difference between the curved and the... Hey, look at that. In the curved one there, it's got some... That looks like machine doubling there. In that picture anyways, but... Let's take a look here. Yeah, it's definitely a curved 7. Definitely a curved 7. Oh, they call it a small date and a large date. So you can tell in the zeros... 9's got different tails on it. Huh, interesting. Cool. Alright, what else we got here? We got... What do we want to see next? Let's look at... We'll go up in denomination here. So we'll start with this. I think this was out of your consignment sale, I believe. Oop, 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 oop. 1863 Indian head. What I liked about this one, when I saw it on the screen there on your auction, it has what people term a circulated cameo, a little bit effect to it, and that's where the devices stand out a little bit more because of circulation, and kind of gives it a cameo effect, but because of the circulation more than any frosting or anything like that, obviously. And it can be. This is a little bit minor, but it's still a cool looking coin. I've got some other cool stuff. Here's actually this is one I have sitting here for some reason. Here's a peace dollar that shows a cool circulated cameo effect. It's a little hard to see in the scope here, but here, I got my other camera hooked up. I just don't have here. Kind of see that a little bit, how that gives it a cameo effect. It's kind of some people collect that, and I've always just kind of liked the look of it, to be honest with you. Anyways, my little side travel. But anyways, that Indian head has a slight into that. The thing about Indian heads that I've always liked is that when I was first started collecting, I got hooked on metal detectors as well. And I grew up on a farm that was built back in the around the Civil War times, back in the 1860s, and so I was for sure there was tons of stuff there. But I remember one time my dad was digging up a ditch for something and I'm out playing. I'm probably 8, 9 years old at the time. I'm out playing in the dirt, and I found an Indian head penny, and it was an 1869, very corroded, very. The details you could see, it looked like it might have been an uncirculated one or a very high grade one at one point when it was dropped. But it was in the ground for 100 years. I also found an 1880 around a few months later in a different dirt pile, and at that point I was hooked. And so Indian head pennies have always had like a little bit of a special place for me. Here was a going up in the denomination. Here's a 1930 S quarter. I don't have, for whatever reason, I just don't have a ton of standing liberties. So this was a bit of a spur of the moment buy. I don't think anybody jumped on it. I think the price was about right for what I could see of the grade, and it wasn't something that I probably would have. Yeah, I obviously didn't pre-sale it, so it wasn't something I was really looking for. So it was a bit of a spur of the moment buy. So that's cool. Keep going up in the denomination. So we'll start off with a. This was the same thing. This was, I think, another spur of the moment buy. This was a 29, I believe, S. D. Walker. Again, I don't have a huge collection of these. I've got rolls of them. But I haven't really, went out of my way to put a collection together. Let's see. Next. My wife made me buy this one. She likes these older commemoratives. Hi. The kids are walking in looking at me. Like, who are you talking to? I'm talking to myself. But yeah, my wife likes these older commemoratives. This is definitely one too that was it's in better condition than what it looked on your screen at the time. I don't have too many older commemoratives. Actually, this might be my first the older commemoratives. So that's pretty cool. This one I anguished over, and I think I didn't buy it when you first had it up, and I didn't anguish over it, but I did a little research on it, and this was one I didn't buy when you first put it up, but after thinking about it, I said, hey, are these still available? And that was that day that this was a consignment sale that didn't have a ton of bidders there. So but this was at 1876, a seated half. This is one I'd never had before as well, but it was a decent price. After I did some research on it, I felt it was a good deal to add that to my collection here. There's enough meat on the bones that if I ever decide to sell it, I could get my money back, maybe even make a few dollars. There's a few little nicks there on the rim there, but I didn't feel like that hurt it too much. That's definitely cool. And last but not least, and I don't remember if I had a reason to buy this. I know why, because I like the look of it. This is, again, it was the a little bit of the circulated cameo look appearance to it. I like these Morgans that are just worn. It's not a date that I really even needed or anything, but I just like the appearance of it. Yeah, there was one other coin in that consignment auction that I seriously thought about buying. I just didn't pull the trigger on it. I got the half, and I was going to get the other one. It was an early commemorative. I forget which one it was, but you had it at a good price, and I should have bought it. But it wasn't meant to be. Okay. So yeah, I think that is it out of your box today. So that's a lot of good stuff. I got a lot of those rolls to take a look at. So I'll take a closer look at these and do some more research on these individuals here. Peek at the rolls there. Let's see, what else did I have recently that this didn't come from you, but this was an 09. And it is a VDB. The VDB was real strong on it. Sometimes you find those kind of weak, and even in the somewhat higher grades. But this was a nice, nice clear lines in the stalk. Well, I'll have to keep an eye out for it. I forget which one it was, though. I wish I could remember. Oh, yeah, ice cream downstairs.
You don't like this?
No, I'm good. I can't believe I just turned on ice cream. Yeah, we got ice cream downstairs. My family's going to Dairy Queen, and I'm good. So there's that. I also picked up this pretty clean from the same seller. I don't think I even needed this. I'm not sure why I picked it up, to be honest with you. That was one of those. It was one of those things where I think it was so cheap. I was like, I can't let that go. It was like $1 or something. I don't know. But anyways, nothing special there. I got this off of eBay. Now this is a very well-worn Indian head. Yeah, I'll have to check that. I knew there was a variety, and I just couldn't remember what it was. And I'll have to check which one. Is there one that's rarer than the other, or more desirable, I guess? So this 1875 I picked up. I mean, it's in about good. I mean, it's got a nice strong date. That's why I really liked it. Actually, the reverse isn't too bad. The rims are still strong on the reverse. But on the obverse, everything's kind of wore down. The letters are almost starting to disappear there. What I liked about it is I saw this. It's just not going to show up good in my lighting here. Maybe. You can see at the bottom of the one there is a little notch. And I don't have Rick Snow's books, but I do have the Flynn book. I'll have to go look. Maybe I'll go find that video from Ken. Take a look then. I might have seen that same video and just didn't pay attention, or didn't really look. So this one appears to me, I could be wrong on this because it's so well worn, it's hard to tell, but that notch is so recognizable there at the bottom of the one, because there's a very similar, it's the 1875, this is going to be awful, this small and large date, and I think they have it listed in here as S1. Now there's some other pickups on this, but because of the wear, they're hard to pick up. Like the bottom of the 8's a little bit repunched. The top of the 1, you can tell, is a little bit repunched, but you can't really see it here. But the notching on the bottom of the 1 was pretty substantial, and it was pretty obvious in the picture, especially on eBay, that I had to jump on it. Yeah, I'd love to have Rick's book, but it's just so expensive. I know it's probably worth every penny of it, but it's expensive. Flynn's books are pretty good. And like the Indian one that's older, that's from like 95, so I'm sure there's much more updated information in Rick's book. But it is what it is. Here's something else I picked up. I like buying these. There's a dealer on eBay. I haven't gone through these yet, but I picked these up. These little the folders. And there's one or two dealers on eBay that tend to sell a lot of them, and they have some of the pennies in them. They'll sell them as a lot, and I think I picked this one up for $5. Now I know that there's not a lot in here, but what I do look at is for varieties, and every so often you'll see a key date, or you'll have one's put in the wrong hole that is more of a key date. So like this is Lincoln's, and that's where you find the majority of them. But for cheap, and you get a couple dozen coins in there, some early dates, sometimes the 1909's in there. Whoever put it in there didn't know enough to look for the VDB. So there's that. I actually found one in an auction. Oh gosh, this has been 15, 20 years ago. I went to an estates auction, and I found a folder like that, and it actually had a 1909S in there, and I was hoping that they put it in the wrong spot, but it was just a 1909S. It wasn't the VDB. I did end up selling that because I picked it up I think I bought the folder for, somebody else knew what it was in there, but I ended up picking up the folder for probably about $25, and I think I sold that 1909S for, probably at the time, probably 50 or 60 bucks. I forget how much. I mean, it's been 15, 20 years ago now. Kind of wish I'd kept it, but at the time I kind of needed the money, and I had just gotten into selling stuff on eBay, and at that time I'd gotten laid off, and it was how I earned my living at the time. Yeah, I was so hoping, because all you could see was the obverse of it, and I saw the S on there, and I was like, holy crap, I know that one's worth money. Obviously not as much as the VDB, but I was hoping, but no such luck there. So, but I like buying these up. These are pretty cool to buy up, and what's this? Oh, that's it. I also do like you do, Cheapskate. I buy bulk lots of foreign. I don't buy them quite as, I think you said you had 50 pounds or 60 pounds or something like that. I usually buy them in 5-pound increments, so I know I'm paying a little bit more per pound, but I like doing, especially in the wintertime, because relaxing going through and looking at stuff. And I do look for some of the better mixes on eBay or wherever I'm looking. I try not to get ones with a bunch of Canadian or a bunch of UK, or at least the newer UK ones. Yep, those are the three big ones. I was bidding on. I should have paid more for it, but I was bidding on a 14D at an estate sale again, and I would have flipped it. At the time, I would have just sold it, but I thought, man, maybe I can get it cheap if nobody else is here and make a quick buck on it. But at the time, I had limited funds to buy with, anyways, and it just went up too high. But it was still way underpriced when I let it go. But yeah, I've got these. I actually have gone through already. And what I do is I separate out the ones that I want to either look through further, or don't. The ones that I think are worth a little bit more or a little nicer looking, or ones I know I don't have. Because what I'll do is I'll pull out what I need for any collections I have, or whatever, and then I usually flip the rest. And I might bundle some together, or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, you do pretty well on those. But yeah, I don't know. So I got to go through this. I separated out. Here's my box of basically throwaways. This little box or thing here. I have a bigger. I probably got about 10 pounds of stuff that I'm just going to bulk up, and I'll just sell on eBay. And they're basically spending money. But these here, I'll go through a little closer and pull out the collection stuff. Maybe bundle some of them together, like with a series or a particular country. And if I'm not keeping them for myself, I'll try and flip them. So I don't know if I'm still debating the whole selling on YouTube thing. I don't know. I don't get enough traffic yet. I don't have my channel built up enough. I mean, I don't know who else is streaming right now, but I think it's just the two of us here now. I know Lincoln was on earlier, but I don't have enough people coming to maybe if I advertised a little bit more and said, hey, I'm having an auction, on some date, more people would show up. I just kind of did this at the spur of the moment, but I also want to figure out I see everybody using that StreamYard where I can get other people to come on live with me. I'd kind of like that. That'd be kind of cool. Because I'd rather talk to people in person than here I am talking to seemingly nobody, but reading people's chats and stuff. It works, but it's not quite the same. So yeah, this is I'll show you my desk. This is ridiculous. This is just stuff that I need to go through and organize, and I've got you're not seeing anything here. Oh, there we go. Let me focus here. So that's basically the stuff that I just got from you. I think there's some other stuff I got from you back here somewhere, but yeah, there's stuff from eBay, stuff from local coin show that before the whole pandemic thing started. Here's that lot of thorns. I've got more stuff there. I use these pill bottles for storing stuff. They're just the right size and usually I keep stuff in these that I'm going to look through later. Here's that pile of all those Argentina coins that I had mentioned that I have to go through. A lot of varieties in there, a lot of interesting stuff. I just have to go through and organize it a little bit. I've got old jars of different things. Cool Whip bowls, and that's just that's just the stuff I need to look through. Here is one bookshelf. I've got some books on there, some folders. This is some of my collection of stuff. I have somewhat organized, but not greatly. I've got some of these little folders here. Oh geez, sorry about the mess here, but I got some of these little folders here. But I think this is all my Australian and New Zealand stuff. There's a variety on here. That's an S over D for 1943 that I have somewhere here. Here's one. Let me pull this out. I'm sorry about the video here. So we'll take a look at it under the scope. Yeah, it's definitely a coin collector, and to justify my collecting, I got to sell some stuff. So I'm trying to get organized enough to sell. And like I said, I sell stuff on eBay and on USA Coin Book. But I need to ramp that up a little bit. But here you can see the S over D on that. I think some people say it's a D, other people say it's a die chip on the mint mark. I'm kind of leaning towards a die chip, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, I definitely have stuff spread, and that's just the stuff here in this room. I got other rooms and stuff upstairs in my bedroom, and I got books elsewhere over by the TV where I sit. I've got more coolables stuff to go through. Yeah, I would love to. I actually thought about moving to New Zealand. At one point I was looking, when was that? That was back in like 90, or not 90, 2007, 2008, when the economy started kind of going downhill. I actually had my own business. I'm a software developer, and I had a consulting business at the time. And my business was, nobody was hiring consultants at the time, so it was hard finding them work. So I was looking for a job. Jobs weren't out there, and I actually thought about moving to New Zealand. They actually got a pretty, at least at the time, they had a pretty. Their tech companies were really ramping up and really becoming a, I don't know, an attractive place to go for a tech guy. But that was more money than I had to. And I have 4 kids, and I'd have to pick up 4 kids and move them, pull them out of school and move them out of the country. I don't think my wife wanted to go, but I would love to go visit. I'll do a visit there. I've actually heard it's, at least here in Ohio, I've heard that it's at least some of it's a similar temperament to and what do you call it? The weather's the same, or pretty close to the same. So that would be nice. But let's see. So I don't know. Let me see. Is anybody else out there that? Who else is online? Am I streaming over top of somebody here? Oh, Lemonhead's on with a auction, it looks like. Oh wait, no. What the heck was I looking at? I guess not. Oh yeah. So it looks like Lemonhead just came on. Between you and Lemonhead, those were kind of my first. Yeah, I don't have too many of the 43 planes. Uh, the 43S's are very common. Actually, I think I have one. Let me see. Let's see. I think I might have one. Yeah, if I can. That and the I think the 1940s. That series has got a nice little. Yeah, maybe I don't have one. I can't find it. That series has a nice little. Has a nice some rarer coins in it. I guess I should say lower mintages at least. Let me pull that up here on Numista. But yeah, for the foreign coins, my collection gets first dibs, like you said, and then the rest of the stuff gets sold off or to make way for more. You could see. I'll show you this because I kind of keep my inventory and collection in Numista as well. There you go. So you can see I have quite a few of the. Yeah, I don't have any of the 43s. I thought I might have one. I don't. You can see I have quite a few of the 43S's because I was just me and there's one guy from Australia that does YouTube channels and we got to talking about this. I did a video on this one time and he was chatting with me about it and we decided to try to corner the market on the S over D's and he was going to get all the ones in Australia and I was going to get all the ones in the US and we've done a fair job of getting quite a few of them anyways. I mean, there for a while I was finding them all over eBay, but I haven't found any for a while. So yeah, 1942 the plane has a pretty low mintage as well. 43 has a low mintage. 1940, that's the one I was thinking of. I got one of those, but yeah, 1940 is hard to come by sometimes. Actually, 40s or before are pretty hard to come by. So I keep my eye out for those, for sure. Oops. So yeah, I think looks like Lemonhead's on, so he will probably take. I mean, he's got 28 people watching him now, so probably some of the people that would have normally found me are probably in there. There's let's see who else. There's a couple. It's a couple of the $50 hunters on. I probably won't care for. Don't watch too much. So, yeah, I'm going to try to start creating some more content and try to do. Oh, geez, you're going to kill me, or my wife's going to kill me when I see those and want to buy those. Full roll those silver shillings, huh? You're going to tempt me with those, and the Mexican ones too. I'm not so much on British. I'm not a big fan of the British silvers, but yeah, between the Mexican and Australian ones, depending on what you got them priced at, I might jump all over that. But I just won't tell my wife. How's that? She's in the other room, so I had to whisper. Nah, she's pretty good. She's pretty good. She just wants to see me sell stuff. She wants to see me at least break even on this stuff. So I actually sell other stuff on eBay. So I don't know if you're familiar with the USA Coin Book place. Let me pull that up. Because it is definitely a good... oh, shoot. Hold on a minute. There we go. It is definitely... Let me get it over on the screen here. It is definitely a place that I have kind of migrated to at least selling the coins and purchasing some coins. It's really just a buy it now thing, but some people got stuff overpriced, but I do find a lot of deals on here. I don't like their search. I do kind of like how they have for the U.S. stuff. They have it broken down into different, so I could jump in if I'm looking for an Indian head, for example. I can jump in here and it kind of gives you this nice mintages and these values. Obviously are I forget where they pull these from. I think it says somewhere, but you take it for what it is. But if I'm looking for an 1860, for example, I can just click on here, and it filters down to all the 1860s. It's really nice. But like I said, some stuff that's overpriced. Some stuff that, obviously that's a pretty beat up. I thought that, from the small picture, I thought maybe that was a clip, but I don't think so. For how damaged it is, I'm going to say it's not, but it's interesting to say. Anyways, I'm going to say that's damage. Anyways, so yeah, I found some good stuff there. The nice thing about it compared to eBay is the fees. Oh my gosh. If I look at the fees down here, they have a fee information. So if you look here, so they only charge a flat 2% final fee, where eBay, I believe, is a 10%. And I think it is even, gradually increases or something at different levels of what you sell. There's no limit on how many items I can push in. They don't charge you anything until it sells. I don't have to pay anything until the balance reaches $2. I've sold, and you think about that, I've sold I've sold in the last couple. You have to sell $100 worth of items until to reach the 2%. So you're still working with PayPal, so you still have to deal with the PayPal fees, which is 30 cents plus a percentage, 2.9%. So you're still dealing with that. But compare that to eBay fees, and then they have this nice little calculator down here. So if I, on the buy it now type, if I sell something for $50, for example, the total eBay plus PayPal fees would be $7.75 for that. Well, the total PayPal and CoinBook fees is only $2.75. I'm saving $5 just in fees. That's crazy, man. So U.S. stuff sells good on here. The foreign stuff, there is no foreign category. It's all kind of lumped into this general category. So it's a little tough to find stuff, and it's not. The search is alright. You can search on stuff, but the foreigns are cool too. I could jump on those too. Yeah, that's tempting. I'll have to see what. I'll have to. They might not make it out of pre-sale. But yeah, the USK coin book, and I sell stuff on eBay, but I don't do coins too much anymore. I might sell some foreign stuff on there just because it does get more traction than the USA coin book does. But the eBay I kind of reserved for other stuff. My wife and I go to yard sales and stuff like that we sell other stuff. So as long as I'm making enough stuff to making enough money to kind of pay for my habit, my wife doesn't care too much about what I spend. So. Oops. So what time is it? It is 7:40. I think I've been on here for, I don't know, going on an hour and a half now. Yeah, it seems like a good price. I don't. What years are they? What years are you looking at for those foreign rolls? Because I know I think the 50s, a lot of that stuff dropped down to 50% silver from the sterling. How many are in a roll? Is it 20? 20 coins per roll for those? I don't know what a florin roll would come in. My wife's on here, and she heard me say she don't care what I spend. Busted. Well, that's my wife, Cheapskate, and she's listening. She must be listening on our my my thing here. So 20 coins at $180. That's what I'm asking. So that's so it's $9. $9 a coin. Yeah, because the florin's up through, I want to say, yeah, so the florins switched to 50% in 1946. Before that they were sterling silver at 92.5. So if they're before 45, that's $6 just bullion value. So that $9 is a good deal. Definitely a good deal there, if that's those. I mean, it's the newer one, the 46s. Oops, you're not seeing. Nobody's seeing this stuff. So yeah, there's the florins for 46 and before are it's bullion value, recent bullion value. That's another nice thing about New Mista. And then, oops, then from 46 up, we're looking at 50%, so you're looking at $3. Cool. I will definitely have to pay attention when those come up. I would definitely have to see when they come up. Because that might be a nice little investment for resale. Ah, okay, that's cool. Cool. Now my wife sits up there and watches. She watches most of the auctions with me, and we're just hanging out in the bedroom watching on TV. Kids have the TVs down here in the living room with their PlayStation or whatever. So we just go up there and watch the auction. I use my phone to type with. And watch it on the big screen TV in our bedroom, so it's nice. But my wife's usually there. Sometimes she's like, ask him this, ask him this. No, that's cool. That's a pretty good price affair. Definitely a good price affair pre-46. Yeah, they're not coming up this week, are they? They're not. Cause I didn't. Yeah, no, they're not on the list you sent out. Cool. That's a pretty good price. That might be a nice investment to make. Oh yeah, that was a good Rose Bowl. Wife's watching Ohio State. That's the time. We're big football fans, actually baseball fans too. And this time of no live sports has been killing us. So, but we've been able to watch a lot of vintage games, and we're big Ohio State fans. Next week's. Okay, cool. Um, yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye out for those in the pre-sale. Then I'll have to do some research on those, see how well those. So I definitely don't need them necessarily for a collection. I can always stack the silver. Um, but I might look at them for resale. At least some of them. I'd probably keep the ones out of that I want or need. But shoot, I could make my money. The ones I keep, I could probably make my money back from the other ones that I sell. You did say you out of Philly. When I was a kid, we played youth football. When I played youth football, this was like 4th and 5th grade. Our teams had we had our teams named after different NFL teams, and I played on the Eagles, and so I became a big Eagles fan back then, and that would have been late 70s. So that was, I believe that was wasn't Ron Jaworski. I think he played during that time, didn't he? I think he was the quarterback that he was like my idol back then. Yeah, unfortunately, I was also a Steelers fan, if you can believe that, for a while. I did like Bradshaw. Bradshaw was my man too. So I kind of floated back between Philly and Pittsburgh. My dad was a Cincinnati fan, and then when I got into high school, I switched to the Browns and have been kind of a loyal Browns fan. And have suffered through the Browns for the last 20 years after they came back into the league. And it's been frustrating, but it's one of those things, there's always next year. That's what we keep saying here. Big Cleveland Indians fan. Watch a lot of baseball. My kids play baseball, and like I said, I coached for a number of years, and so yeah, we're big Indians fans. Don't really care about basketball too much. I do love college football. High school football, yep. College football is great. House State, of course. High school football, ain't nothing better than a Friday night here in Ohio in the fall. There's just something about it. Tradition and the coolness in the air, and it's just a good time. So, but this time of no live sports is killing me. I'm getting tired of watching reruns, and I think I burned through Netflix. There's nothing I really care to watch anymore. Yeah, they are getting better. But we've said that for 20 years too. We keep saying they're getting better every year. So we'll see. I'm hopeful. I think they got the right players, and I think they got the right players. With the coach. I don't know much about this coach. I know he's. I remember seeing him. I've heard about him and everything like that. But I forget what his name is. But the guy I think he came from Minnesota. I don't know. We'll see. Dallas loses. I never liked Dallas. And I think that stems from my days as a Pittsburgh fan, because when I was a Pittsburgh fan, that was during Bradshaw's reign, and the 4 Super Bowl wins there in a couple years, and I think 2 of them were against Dallas. And those are some of the earlier Super Bowls that I remember. So I hated Dallas, and I just don't like him anymore. I still haven't liked him. For some reason we have a lot of Dallas fans in this area, though, in the area I'm at. And I'm not sure why. But yeah, there's a lot of Dallas fans, a lot of Pittsburgh fans. Yeah. I I figured that Brady would just retire from there, from New England. I really felt that he might play another year there in New England and then call it a day. So I was a little surprised that he wanted to be traded. It reminds me of Joe Montana. It was like, when Joe Montana, he was the 49ers for all those years. And then he went to, where was it? Kansas City, I think. And just wasn't right. He did all right there, but it just wasn't the same. Or Brett Favre. Look at Brett Favre going from Green Bay to Minnesota. Just how the heck does that even happen? So this is another one of those things. It's like, how does Brady go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Huh. So crazy times. Yeah, you got a good point there. And it'll be interesting to see. Can Brady do it without Belichick, and can Belichick do it without Brady? I don't know. I do think it's a shame that the Browns couldn't have kept Belichick. He was there before they moved to Baltimore. Actually, I'm not even sure. I can't remember. If he actually coached in Baltimore or not? After the Browns moved, but I thought he was a good coach for the Browns. We just didn't have the right players to take us all the way. But I thought he was a good coach. Yeah. My wife's not a big NFL fan. I more watch it because there's nothing else on a Sunday afternoon to watch if I'm not doing something else. And I don't know, there's something about Monday Night Football that I like and things like that. But I could take it or leave it. I definitely like college football and high school football, though. That's definitely my thing. So, well, we're going on over an hour and a half. I'm going to get out of here and probably go find some ice cream in the basement. So it's been good chatting with you, Cheapskate. Thanks again for the stuff you sent. And I have a lot of good time looking through that stuff and kind of seeing what else I can find in there. So thanks again. And anybody else that was on here, thanks to my wife for finally letting me know she was listening in on us. And anybody else that might have popped in, or anybody's watching this later on, I appreciate you coming by. Hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I hope to do more of these. And Cheapskate, we will see you on a Monday night. So have a good one. Tell your wife we said hello, and we'll catch you all later.